Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into the video, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Let's dive in. I never thought I'd be the kind of husband counting excuses instead of moments. But there I was, sitting at the edge of our bed, watching my wife, the same woman who once couldn't fall asleep without my arm around her, list out 10 reasons she wasn't in the mood anymore. She had them written on a notepad. A real list. Number 1, I'm tired. Number 2, it's not you, it's just my hormones. Number 3, you don't help enough around the house. It went on reason after reason, each one chipping away at what little closeness we had left. I didn't interrupt. I just listened. That's something I learned over the years. Silence tells you more than words. What if the person closest to you stopped seeing you at all? But as she spoke, I couldn't help noticing how calm she seemed. Like this wasn't even a problem. Like our marriage was just a roommate agreement now. And she was fine signing off her half of the emotional rent. When she finished, she looked at me waiting for a reaction. I only asked one thing. So, is this permanent? She shrugged. I just don't feel that way anymore, Mark. Maybe someday it'll come back, but for now, can't we just be comfortable? Comfortable? That word hit harder than any fight we'd ever had. Comfort was what you built with friends, not the person you vowed to love. I nodded, didn't argue, didn't beg. I just said, all right then. You've got your 10 reasons. I'll think about mine. Ever realized love was dying while you were still trying to save it? That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, running through years of effort. Every dinner I cooked, every flower I bought, every talk I tried to start that went nowhere. I realized I'd been feeding something that had already died. And as cruel as it sounded, love without effort is just a slow betrayal in disguise. By morning, I had my own list, 10 consequences. Not out of anger, but out of self-respect. The next morning, I left for work without saying a word. No kiss, no coffee, no checking if she needed anything. Just silence. When I came home that evening, the first consequence began. I stopped being available. For years, I'd been the one keeping our world running: groceries, bills, small repairs, even her car care. All invisible acts of love she never noticed. That night, I didn't fix the leaky faucet she complained about. I just said, add it to your list. The second consequence came naturally. No more emotional support. When she wanted to vent about her coworkers, I listened politely, but didn't take it in. I didn't comfort or advise. I treated her words like background noise, the same way she treated my affection. The third one hurt the most. I stopped reaching out. No good morning texts. No gentle touches on her shoulder as I passed by. Nothing. The house felt colder, but not as cold as her indifference had been. She noticed it within days. By the end of the week, she asked, "Why are you acting distant?" I smiled slightly. You wanted comfortable, right? I'm just getting comfortable. It wasn't anger driving me anymore. It was awareness. Years of chasing her emotional warmth had left me empty. So, I decided to fill that space with boundaries. I focused on my health, went back to the gym, reconnected with old friends, spent more time outside the house. That was consequence number 4. My attention no longer belonged to her by default. By consequence 5, I stopped including her in my plans. No dinner invitations, no shared shows, no weekend ideas. The silence that used to scare me now became my friend. It gave me peace, something I hadn't felt in a long time. When she finally confronted me, voice shaking, she said, "I feel like you're punishing me." I met her eyes and replied calmly, "No, I'm just giving you what you asked for: a life without closeness in every form." That was when the fear hit her. Because she finally understood closeness isn't just about touch. It's about effort, attention, and connection. And she had killed all 3. By the second week, my silence had a weight of its own. It wasn't the Cold War kind. It was calm on purpose. She started cooking dinner again, asking about my day, wearing the perfume I once said I loved, but I didn't respond. That was consequence number 6. Attention must be earned, not assumed. When she tried to touch my hand during dinner, I didn't pull away, but I didn't hold it either. I just kept eating. Her eyes watered, and for the first time in years, I saw confusion instead of confidence. She had always been sure that I'd come crawling back, no matter how rejected or unseen I felt. This time, she was wrong. Consequence 7 came when she asked to plan a weekend together. I said I already had plans with friends. The shock on her face was priceless. She'd grown so used to being my entire world that she forgot I could build one without her. Consequence 8 came quietly. I stopped defending her. When mutual friends asked how things were, I didn't protect her image or cover her coldness with polite lies. I just said, "We're figuring things out," and left it at that. She hated losing control of the story. By the 9th consequence, the balance had shifted completely. She came to me one night in tears, saying, "I feel invisible." I looked at her and said, "That's how I felt for years. You just never noticed because I kept showing up anyway." She begged for another chance. Promised she'd change. Promised therapy, talking, affection, all the things I had been begging for long before she ever started counting reasons not to care. But I had already written the 10th and final consequence, freedom. I told her I was moving out for a while. That I needed space to remember who I was before I became the man begging his own wife to see him. She tried to hold me, but I gently stepped back. "You made a list of why you couldn't be close to me," I said. "Now I'm giving you the space to live with that choice." I packed a bag and left quietly. No drama, no anger, just peace. Weeks later, she texted me saying she finally understood what she'd lost. But by then, I had learned the most important truth of all. Sometimes love doesn't end with hate. It ends when the begging stops.